This is the Royals Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Kansas City Royals. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome in to the Royals Postcast, your go-to spot for live post-game reaction to every single Royals game this season. I'm your host, Chance Liebau, and you can follow me on Twitter at Chance Liebau. That's at ChanceLiebau. If you can't make a show live, don't worry. These episodes will be uploaded for you to listen to on demand, wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you for making the Locked On Royals podcast or the Royals Postcast your first listen of the day and your go-to place for Royals reactions. Before we get started, remember to subscribe to the channel and turn on our notifications so that you get an alert whenever we go live. Thanks for joining the show, and feel free to join the live chat. Let me know your thoughts on the game. I'll do my best to get to some comments. I know I've been pretty bad about the comments here recently. I do apologize for that. You guys do a great job in the chat. We have some regulars in here. It is hard for me to focus on just the camera and also it's a lot to handle sometimes. So I appreciate you guys being patient with me. Royals win tonight, 4-3. Man, that was a big win for the Royals. I'm not going to go out and say that this win puts them in any different position than they already were. They move a half game up in the standings because the Mariners didn't play today. And for 9 innings of baseball, the Royals got 5 hits and 8 total base runners against a sub 90 mile an hour fastball guy in Kyle Hendricks. The Royals didn't look good tonight. I'll give credit to the pitching staff. The pitching staff was absolutely lights out tonight. Noah Cameron did not come out with his best stuff tonight. I'll admit it. Did not look good in that first inning. I even texted my group thread with Jack Johnson, who hosts our regular show here on the Locked On Royals channel, and our coworker Shane Dennis. I said, well, at least they got us to Chiefs season at 500. That's kind of what everybody had been asking for. That's kind of been their job over the last couple of seasons. And then tonight they were able to pull out a win. Justin asked me what my opinion is of the Jalen Carter spitting on Dak Prescott. Jalen Carter just seems to be in the wrong place, the wrong time too often, if you catch my drift there. But just a really, really great nails outing tonight from Noah Cameron after a really, really rough go of it in that first inning. Didn't look like he was going to get out of 4, if I'm being quite honest. He's able to get 3 double plays tonight. Somehow, some way, the pitching staff is not what you'll be talking about, because there's a rhetoric that we have to push back on here, and it has to do with one Bobby Witt Jr.
This is what you'll be talking about.
It's what everybody talks about, it seems like, every night in the chat. And I do go through the chat every single night after the show is over. It's really hard for me to go through it when I'm doing the show. But the rhetoric that Bobby Witt Jr. just isn't clutch is false in a big, big way. I mean, Bobby Witt Jr. is one of the most, I don't want to say most clutch hitters in the league, but I mean, in high leverage spots, Bobby Witt Jr. is still one of baseball's better hitters. I'm pulling up FanGraphs right now to get his high leverage, low leverage splits. And if you look at it in terms of WRC plus, Bobby Witt Jr. is, I'm waiting to look for it. Bobby Witt Jr., he is 60th, but still has a 118 WRC plus, a 325 average, an OPS of well over 800, and 17 runs scored, 17 RBI. That is in clutch, in high leverage situations. So this Bobby Witt Jr. isn't clutch thing. It's wrong. It's false. Tonight hits a really clutch solo home run. The offense just wasn't great tonight. They got 4 solo home runs. Vinny and Salvi, who I kind of been dogging on here in the last couple of episodes, just because they have not been very good here recently, especially Salvador Perez. Since trading Freddie Fermin, Salvador Perez has just been bad. There's no other way to slice it. Salvi just has been bad since trading Freddie Fermin. And Vinny had struggled. You get a solo homer out of each of those guys. Vinny has 2 hits tonight. That is 67% of what he had for the last week and a half. So big props to Vinny for him being able to come through tonight. And then Bobby Witt Jr. with the tattoo shot out the left center field tonight. The offense wasn't great. I mean, I understand that sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to go up against a guy like Kyle Hendricks, who throws a lot of just slow pitch softball stuff. Tonight, 38 changeups, 36 total fastballs, 10 curveballs. The Royals did not have that many hard hits tonight against Kyle Hendricks. 5 hard hits in 6 innings against him. He didn't strike out at all. A quality start without striking anybody out is hard enough to come by. He wasn't in the zone that much, especially with his changeup. But instead, the Royals, when it was outside of the zone, were swinging at it 45% of the time. They just didn't put up very many good swings on very many balls against Kyle Hendricks. And it's a point to be concerned about when it comes to just being able to get through some guys. We had some talks, I believe it was in June or July, where the Royals just don't hit well against good pitching. And I'm not saying Kyle Hendricks is a good pitcher. This season, pitching to a 4.81 ERA, they just don't hit well against really anybody. The lineup was not very good tonight. 3 hits against Kyle Hendricks should be considered a fireable offense. They were able to get solo homers off of Fermin and Zeverjon in the late innings. But even then, it was just a poor effort. And while I do like how the Royals were able to, respond to adversity tonight, I've talked and hammered it home that the Royals just don't do very well against when they're playing from behind. For them to be able to tonight come into it and trail very early before they even step to the plate, they're down in a 3-0 hole. For them to respond to the adversity, come back, and be able to win a baseball game when your back's already up against the wall. You're trailing 2-0 in the series and 3-0 in the game before Mike Yastrzemski even steps into the on-deck circle. So give props to the Royals for being able to grit their teeth and put a bunch of lipstick on a pig, because that offense was atrocious tonight. And sometimes winning is difficult. Winning baseball games is hard to do. Nobody's ever gone 162-0. It's a hard thing to do. But tonight was a step in the right direction. And the one thing tonight, and I get it, the Angels did not go to the bullpen too much. They threw a couple of righties after throwing Hendricks. No pinch hitters tonight from the Royals. We didn't have to see Nick Lofton. We didn't see Jack Caglione. We didn't see Tyler Tolbert. We didn't see Luke Maile. I'm not saying there's a coincidence, but obviously that did play a factor. You're able to get guys in more of a rhythm when you don't pinch hit every 6th inning. So I really, really liked what I saw from the pitching staff tonight, but the offense was something that I had to bring up because it just wasn't good enough tonight for me to push them into we're so back. I'm not yet filing a claim with the we're back department. It feels very much like tonight was a win in the win column, but also probably a mental win for the Royals. They needed to clear that hurdle. They just hadn't played very well recently. And for them to pick up a win tonight, I'm not saying it's going to, be the first domino to fall in a long stretch of wins, but winning this game was a heck of a lot better than losing it. So props to them for being able to grit their teeth and win an ugly ball game against a team they should have beaten up on. All right, when we come back, we'll discuss the pitching staff. We've got to give some flowers out, and there are a lot of pitchers that deserve it tonight for the Royals. We'll discuss those arms when we come back on the Royals Postcast. There's nothing like catching a baseball game live. The energy, the crowd, the chance to see your team in person. But actually getting tickets, that's the tough part. Queues, login screens, surprise fees. It takes all of the fun out of it. That's why I use Gametime, the app that gives the advantage back to fans. Gametime is fast, easy, and backed by the Gametime guarantee. You'll always get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time and at the best price. Plus, all fees are included, so the price you see is the price you pay. The app made it super simple. I could even see the exact view from my seat before buying. Fees are included. Know your total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Gametime today. It's also brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. It's time to fuel up and turn it up with 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. This grape, ginger, and lime-flavored shot brings the iconic taste of the golf course favorite to a non-alcoholic boost. perfect for sinking birdies or making great memories with friends. It's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Whether you're out on the course or just need a little extra push to power through your day, 5-Hour Energy Transfusion delivers the clubhouse flavor you love without ever leaving the green. Golf is all about good times with good people and good flavors. The grape ginger lime flavor of 5-Hour Energy Transfusion gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without leaving the course or chasing down the bev cart. Now you can amp up the fun even more. Just buy, snap, and enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for two to any golf tournament in the U.S. Tee up that trip. Visit 5hewin.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary, and that excludes the Masters tournament. This ends October 31st, 2025. All right, let's talk about the pitching staff because I did see a comment up here that I believe it was Justin. Chance, give Bolin his flowers. Man, you've just gotten here, man. We love Jonathan Bolin on this podcast. Jonathan Bolin's been really good for the Royals this season when he's been called upon. And sometimes the glitz and glamour of being a 8th inning setup guy or a 9th inning closer guy, there's only, by my count, 60 of those guys in all of Major League Baseball. Sometimes you got to play your role. And Jonathan Bolin ate glass this season. He's had to make the Omaha to Kansas City trek more times than you can count on your hands. That guy has been a stud all season long. For the Royals to be able to use his flexibility with his options. I was talking to Jack earlier in our text thread. I mean, Jonathan Bolin's going to break camp with the team next year, and I don't think he goes down. I think that he's a long-term staple in this bullpen. Although when I say that, I also have to remember that a year ago, we were talking the same way about Sam Long, and now we're stuck with Sam Long this season. But Jonathan Bolin, Taylor Clark, those guys that were not in the opening day roster that have been exceptional, give credit to Brian Sweeney and JJ Piccolo for being able to find those guys and work through their kinks and make them serviceable relievers. He's got a 3.67 ERA this season and through 2 innings of shutout hitless baseball. So yes, he deserves flowers. Noah Cameron also deserves flowers. This is, I believe, the 3rd or 4th time this year where Cameron's gotten tagged in the first inning and bounced back in a big way. I go back to the Cubs series when I believe he gave up 3 and maybe it was 2 in the first inning, 1 in the second, 1 in the third maybe. But I remember he didn't look good through the first couple of innings, and then he was able to work through it. He was able to get through 6 innings in that Cubs game. And tonight was very similar. 3 double plays tonight for Noah Cameron. It feels good for the shoe to be on the other foot, although the Royals did also ground into 2 double plays tonight. But the bullpen as a whole, and you got to see Bolin, Ursig, and Estevez tonight. 4 innings, 1 hit, no earned, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. Elite stuff out of the bullpen. Carlos Estevez tonight. What's the radar gun telling us what Carlos Estevez hit tonight? Let's look. He maxed out at 98 miles an hour. Was in the zone a ton tonight. Listen, Carlos Estevez, he's one of the best closers in baseball. I know that it's a hot take apparently, but Carlos Estevez now with a 2.54 ERA and 37 saves, you're not getting that on the street for whatever they're paying him. They got a bargain deal for Carlos Estevez, and give credit to him for bouncing back after a couple of rough outings. But other notes from tonight, the Royals had just 1 at-bat with runners in scoring position. This homestand, they are 2 for 26 with runners in scoring position. That's not good. Not good at all. Carter Jensen got his first career start tonight. I just wasn't that impressed. He looked overmatched out there. And it's start number 1 for him against a really crafty veteran in Kyle Hendricks, and then had to come out of the face some bullpen guys. But I just thought Carter Jensen looked overmatched tonight. I mean, he goes 0 for 2. He did draw a walk, but the strikeout, he just didn't put very many good swings on the ball. I just was not moved by Carter Jensen tonight. I mean, I don't think he was ready in the first place. I even said it on Sunday's pod. I was like, I don't think it's a good idea to bring him up. And now you're forced to kind of play him at times, and I think he should be getting ABs in Omaha. But now we're going to see Carter Jensen, I would imagine, a couple times, maybe once in the Twin Series as a starter, but just wasn't really that moved by him at the plate tonight. Good for him to get the start. Hopefully he can get the monkey off his back in the Minnesota series before they head on the road, so he can say that he got his first career hit where he grew up watching games. But I just wasn't that impressed by him tonight. But the Royals moved to 71-69. They are now 2 games out of that wild card spot. Big spot, big spot for the Royals against the Twins this weekend. Need a sweep. I really do mean that. I'm not trying. You cannot take 2 of 3 and just pray that Seattle continues to slide. You have to sweep the Twins this weekend. Is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? Probably not. But if we want to be talking about this team as playoff hopefuls, they need to be 5 games over 500, a game within striking distance against the Mariners. But I'm going to hold my breath here. But I appreciate you guys for being here with us tonight. This was a really fun episode to do just because the Royals were able to win for the first time in a while. You get to see me in a more positive light, although it's probably not as positive as some people would have liked it. But Royals win tonight, snap the skid. They'll be back tomorrow night. But unfortunately, I will not be here tomorrow night. I have duties with my other job, my full-time job. So I will not be here with you tonight. Neither will Jack. Jack has the exact same story. He's going to be doing Chiefs post-game up at 8:10 WHB. So there will not be a Royals postcast tomorrow night. But Saturday, we'll be right back in the saddle. We'll be giving you Royals post-game reaction to Game 2 of the Minnesota Twins. If you're new here, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications because we do these almost pretty much after 95% of Royals games. There are a couple times where I can't, but these are a great way to get your thoughts out. Come and join us in the chat, and be sure to subscribe to the channel. We appreciate you guys being here, and we'll see you Saturday for another edition of the Royals Postcast.